Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Hope everyone is having a great day. We are here to talk about how we're going to supercharge your business with Nimble and Reliance Network. So really excited for the opportunity. So today we have myself, Nick Villanti. We also have Jon, who is a real estate professional from Willis out of San Diego. He's been using both Reliance Network and Nimble for some time, and we thought it would be best to hear straight from someone that's been doing this on a day-to-day basis on how great the two teams are together. And then Jon is also with us as well. He's going to be talking directly about Nimble and everything about it, and some great ways that a lot of users beyond Jon have been able to utilize and really expand their business utilizing Nimble as a CRM platform. So myself, Nick Villanti, I've been with Reliance Network. I've been in the real estate industry for about 18 years. Probably many of you, if not all of you, have known me, the Reliance Network expert in a lot of ways. And we're really excited to have this partnership. We've been working with Jon and the Nimble team for over a year now, and we've been really excited with everything that they've been doing, how they've been able to look at the real estate space and how they've been able to really enhance the keep in touch and really diving into the CRM services and looking at enriching contacts and finding great ways to simplify the process and staying in touch with your sphere. That's really what we're really excited about. So the primary reasons, or some of the main reasons of building this relationship was Reliance has a lot of great tools with the website components, with generating lead opportunities, and we do have, the essentials for CRM to collect your database, to collect all those contacts, and to have some automated keep in touch. But what you really need at the end of the day is a way to really enrich your sphere. And making sure that you have a consistent process and converting the people that you meet and people that you meet online. Nimble has done a phenomenal job at simplifying that process, being able to take the people that you don't know that are anonymous coming in from your website, enriching that information to be able to kind of almost vet them along the way, but then also make sure that you have a simple and consistent process for converting and staying in touch with not only people you're just meeting, but people that you already know, and making sure that you're doing it at the right time. So we're really excited to be able to show this. Things that we're going to be learning today. So again, bringing in Jon from Willis Allen, and he's been using this and really getting his his hands in there and getting his hands dirty with managing and enhancing his sphere. I think it's really important to hear directly from people that have been using the platform and using it just as you will be using it in real estate, and managing those inquiries from the website, managing your sphere of people that you know, and making sure that you can unify all of your contacts in a simple way. So we're going to be going through that and walking through how Jon uses it with Willis Allen, and then Jon Ferrara is going to be able to walk us through all of the great ways and simple ways to be able to enrich your contacts. So with that, Jon, why don't you go ahead and kick us off?
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Hello, everyone. Jon Cilch, Willis Allen in San Diego. I'm a real estate agent. I've been an agent for the past 8 years. I was introduced to Nimble when I moved over to Willis Allen. I was a Contactually user prior to that, and it's just been a great experience. Contactually worked for us, but Nimble has really taken everything to another level. The problem with Contactually is it was purchased by Compass, and so basically Willis Allen had to really vet everything that was out there and look at a lot of different CRMs, and thankfully they landed on Nimble. We're also Gmail users at Willis Allen, and thankfully Gmail and Nimble with Reliance all married together nicely. As I said, being a Gmail user and using Nimble is just, it's like, peanut butter and jelly. It's fantastic. I can be in my email inbox. There's a smart bar plugin on the right for Nimble. I can highlight any contact, look up someone that I don't know, a lot of times we get emails from people that, we have no idea who they are. It'll automatically build a contact for that person. It'll look up their social media accounts, and then you can start building upon that and creating a contact for that person. Primarily, I'm using Nimble to stay in touch with my sphere and all my clients. It's impossible to stay in touch with everyone without a program like this or without a CRM like this, because we know so many people. Our spheres are huge, hopefully, and this brings all of your people into one place. I can look at a list of contacts on Nimble and see who I've been in touch with, who I haven't touched with in a long time. Just based on the color coding that they use. If it's green, we've been in touch. If it's red, they need attention. And I sort all of my contacts within Nimble by tag. So as you can see at the bottom there, which makes it really easy to target a specific group of people. Within Nimble, you can set up tasks, which is sort of my to-do lists. So when I start my day, I open up Nimble, and I've got a list of tasks to do. One of the things I found in real estate, especially in the beginning of my career, when I didn't have a lot of business, what do I do today? No one's telling me what to do as an agent, right? I mean, I'm completely responsible for my day and my responsibilities. And so I think, especially in the beginning, you get sort of lost. I don't know what to do. So this is great. You can set up your to-do list, your tasks. I have a few that I've noted here that I think are great touches with clients. One of which is I create a home anniversary date for each of my past buyer clients on the date of their purchase. So that'll pop up in my task list. I'll do my research on that day, and I'll reach out to that person and say, hey, this is what your home's worth in the current market. This is why it's worth that. Here are the comps. And I think, clients really appreciate that touch. You're keeping in touch well after you've already helped them in this business, right? And also, of course, once we're right in the middle of tax season right now, I always set a task for sending every previous purchase and sale from the last year their final settlement statement. And those are just examples of tasks that I have set up that I don't have to remember. They're in my task list. Nimble Workflows are a great way to see the process start to finish, from when you first meet a client until you close escrow with that client. You guys know this is a complicated process with a lot of moving pieces, and it's very easy to have things fall through the cracks. So these workflows are totally customizable. I use the default real estate flows that you can see there on the slide. And you add a client on your initial contact, and as that process progresses, you can slide them over from one workflow to the next. And then you can add details and reminders for each flow. For example, at close of escrow, I'll add a reminder saying, ask for a referral, purchase a gift, those sort of things. And it really just helps to keep everything in front of you and just to be organized through these complicated escrows. The deals page I primarily use to track the numbers, my commissions. So I keep this very simple. For the buyer deal, it's just anyone who's really active writing offers. We're getting close to that escrow stage. Seller is anyone who's got a listing agreement signed with me, so that I can sort of put a number to it. If someone's writing offers around a certain price point, or if I'm listing at a certain price, I have an idea of what that commission looks like. So now I can see what my numbers are, and of course you can make this however you want. It's super customizable. And then once you move everybody into the one portion or the escrow closed, Nimble shows all of your deals, and so you can look back at 2021 and see very nicely how much commission did I earn in 2021. So this is essentially how I use the deals page. It's great for tracking numbers. In conclusion, I would say once again, if you're an agent and you don't have a CRM, I would love to know how you are staying on top of keeping in touch. You know, there's a staggering statistic out there about how many clients or buyers or sellers use a different agent after they, you know, each time. And that's something that just scares me. My biggest fear is helping someone and then they go out and use someone else down the road. That personally touches me. And so I pride myself on really trying to stay on top and keeping in touch with the people that have already used me, trust me, love me, etc. I'm not out looking for a new business all the time. I'm focusing on the people that know me, and so that they're getting top-notch service from me. And Nimble is a big part of that, because otherwise it's just impossible to stay organized. So I hope all that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Jon.
Jon, thank you so much for that fine presentation. I really believe that it's more powerful when other people talk about you than when you talk about you. And I think nobody can talk better about how Nimble makes them better, smarter, faster than somebody out there in the trenches who's working with clients on a daily basis. And I think you said it best, is that you're really working for yourself in many respects, and you are managing yourself. And so you need a little nudge on your shoulder to help you, to remind you of the key things you need to focus on, as well as do some of the work for you. I think one of the biggest causes of failure in CRM is lack of use, and the second is bad data. It's lack of use because we work for the CRM. We have to go to the CRM to use it. It doesn't work for us by automatically building records and then work with us where we're engaging. And let's face it, we're all digging our way out of our email inbox on a daily basis. So I appreciate you sharing your information about how you use Nimble to make better, smarter, faster. So for those that don't know me, my name is Jon Ferrara. I'm the CEO of Nimble. Before founding Nimble, I actually built the world's first team contact platform before Outlook or Salesforce existed, with a company called Goldmine. And I did that because I was trying to engage with prospects and customers as part of a team, but really I was kind of doing it myself, mainly prospecting. And I struggled to manage my outreach and my engagement. I cold called people, made notes on pieces of paper. I did my appointments in a thing called a day timer. I did my forecast in spreadsheets, and I said there's got to be a better way. I couldn't find it. I was too young and dumb to know any better, so I quit my job and I started Goldmine. And I started Nimble because I started to use social media, and I saw that it was going to change the way that we work, play, buy, and sell. And I was looking for a relationship platform that would help me to leverage these new digital cloud platforms in a more modern way. And so I got back into the business. But before I go in, talk about a little bit about the vision of Nimble and how it can help your agents grow, I just want to ask questions. There's a little Q&A box inside of the GoToWebinar control panel. Please, please, please ask questions. That's how we learn and share our knowledge. So if you'll excuse me, sometimes I might be looking over here. That's because I've got these two screens, and I haven't figured out how to move this screen over to here. So I'm just gonna, you'll see me looking over this way every once in a while. You'll know what I'm looking at. So as I was saying before, why are there 225 million global businesses and less than 1% use any CRM? I think it's because CRMs really aren't designed for engaging customers. They're designed for controlling sales reps. And as a broker, you know that your agents have to be self-motivated. They need tools that make them successful, and they can't deal with complex tools like the Salesforces and the Dynamics, or even some of the modern cloud CRMs like Pipedrive, because they're not relationship CRMs. They're not tools for really great engagement. They're more for command and control and reporting. That's why they call it Salesforce. You have to force salespeople to use it. And that's why I got back in the business to build Nimble, because I believe that the contacts that you need to be engaging already exist in your businesses. Let's face it, as a business today, you have to pick Google or Microsoft as your cloud productivity suite. And right now, today, about half the market's using either. But the problem with Google or Microsoft productivity suites is they're not great contact managers. They're not great at what Goldmine and Act back in the day were, or Nimble is today, which is a tool that helps your reps engage better. And so my vision is to unify the contacts that already exist for your agents, for your office, and they exist inside of Google and Microsoft. They exist inside social, and they also exist in the business apps that your business is using, like Reliance. And so what Nimble does, will go ahead and unify all of those and then enrich them with people and company data, and then work back where you're working. And so I'm not going to read this slide. We talked about it. CRMs suck. They really do. And that's why you need a CRM that is about relationships and empowers people to engage better. And that's also why there's all these tools out there in the marketplace. You know, if you buy a CRM, it's not enough. You've also got to buy your reps sales intelligence software like LinkedIn Sales Navigator or Zoom Info. And then you've got to go buy them sort of outreach tool, because Lord knows you don't want to hand your sales reps the keys to your market automation system. They need to have a rifle and a map. The rifle is some sort of templated email outreach tool that works with the email productivity suite like Microsoft and Google that will help them to engage. And the beauty is Nimble is not only a market leader in CRM, but it's also a market leader in sales intelligence and sales enablement like email tracking and templating. And so Nimble's the perfect tool for agents, because let's face it, they don't need something complicated. They need something simple but smart and that works with the tools they have, and that's what we do. And so some of the key things that are built into Nimble that I think make us unique is the intelligence. We all need a little help. You know, it's your job as a business person to do your homework before you ever engage. You need to know who somebody is, what they're about, and what their needs are to better serve them. And that's really what sales is. It's a service. And how can you serve somebody unless you know where they're at in life? Are they married? Do they have kids? Where is their time in life? What are they looking for? And if you can get in touch with that better, and not just the needs of them, but also the commonalities, because let's face it, in the old days, what did we do? We went in somebody's office and looked at their walls. We looked at the books they read, the degree of the school they went to. Why? To figure out what our commonalities were, to share those, to build the intimacy and trust we need to get them to open up to us about their needs so we can serve them. And you know what? That's the beauty of technology and AI, is that Nimble automatically will build those records for you. And we do it with something called Prospector. What's Prospector? Prospector is the thing that delivers Nimble where you engage. So we engage inside of our email, we engage inside of social, we engage in the business apps that we use, and Nimble has this Prospector plugin that makes it so you don't have to live in Nimble to get the benefits of Nimble. You could use it wherever you're engaging. And then the Today page is essentially something that will help you starting in your day. It has all your signals, your appointments, your to-dos, etc., and the templated emails. And so the key things about Nimble is it's integrated to Microsoft and Google. It helps you to engage intelligently. It unifies your contacts. It enriches those contacts, and then it helps you to use that everywhere you work. I can't say enough about Prospector, but you know what? I'm going to show you. And the templated email tracking and all this stuff that you do in order to get somebody's attention, to build the intimacy and trust, to learn about their needs, lets you to qualify them and eventually get it into a deal pipeline so that you can then go ahead and close it. And I think it's one of the reasons why Nimble's recognized across the globe as one of the top rated CRMs for small business teams in the world. And with that, let's go ahead and go into the demo. So I'm just going to move my my cursor over here, and you'll see a little bit of the side of my face. So rather than looking at the side of my face, I'm just going to turn this off, and I can focus on the screen because I'm camera shy. Okay, so the key thing that Nimble does is it unifies your email, your contacts, and your calendar. And so what type of email, contact, and calendar system to use, it doesn't matter. Nimble works with all of them. And what Nimble will do is it'll go ahead and tie, look, there's some signals there about some open emails. it'll go ahead and tie all your data together by unifying your email accounts. You can import and map that into Microsoft, Google, Apple Mail, or IMAP mail systems. And then we also will talk to all the different business tools that you use out in the marketplace. And once you tie Nimble into those systems, then Nimble will go ahead and build the records for you. And this is an example of a Nimble record. What Nimble does is it will go ahead and map the identity of the people and their companies. It'll bring that data down and then enrich that contact with the people and company data, like their avatar, their company, their bio, etc. It'll synchronize every interaction that you and the team have had on email, calendar, and social. And then here's the beauty that I absolutely love. It works back where you work. So when you add Nimble into Outlook Desktop, Outlook Mobile, or Office 365, or inside of Google, Nimble will automatically then be in all those places and then live when you open up an email. If the record exists, it'll go ahead and give you the record with all the background details that you want on that person. It gives you the history of interactions that you and the team have had. And most importantly, it gives you the ability to follow up and follow through, because isn't that what all engagement and communication is about? Is what is the next step? Because you got to continue to have a next step, or else you don't have a purpose with a client. And the reason why most people don't do their next steps is that they typically have to go to the CRM to do that. And I'd show you a Salesforce screen, but I don't know how to find it because this thing's so complicated, but you get the idea. So essentially, when you're using Nimble inside of your email, it doesn't matter if you're using Microsoft 365 or you're using Google. You have this thing called the prospector within Nimble that allows you to do the follow-up and follow-through. If the record exists, it brings up the record. If it doesn't exist, Nimble will build a record. So this is an example of Nimble building a record automatically. So I don't know Lily Jang. Hopefully I pronounced her name right. But Nimble essentially can automatically build a record on anyone, anywhere, just like that. And so I don't have to do much. I just essentially click a couple times and boom, that record is in Nimble. And at that point, I could then do something with that person. And so that's an example of Nimble automatically building records for you wherever you're at. And that will work inside your email. It'll also work inside of any type of social system. And I find that connecting with my clients initially might happen within an email, but then ideally you follow through on that and get to know that person a little bit as you engage with them. And what better place to learn about somebody than their digital footprint? And Nimble follows you through that whole footprint, no matter where you're engaging with your customers. So essentially, you can use Nimble in all the places that you engage, not just the traditional email or business apps that you might use, but you could literally use it in any of the places that you use. And then when you're back inside of Nimble, once you've built those records and added those records, then you can manage the key things that you need to do. I love the ability to segment the records, to do outreaches to them. So I can go ahead and do some sort of smart search and then select a certain set of records. And I could do some really great things with that person and these people that I've segmented, including sending group messages. So you can send individual messages and you can send templated group messages. And when you send those messages, you can send them from literally anywhere as you're at. So I could actually send a message to somebody. I'm just going to go ahead and go over here. I'm sitting here seeing a post by an existing or prospective client. If I wanted to communicate with them, I could send them that message from wherever I am, and I could pick a template. And when I send that email, I would then get signals on opens and clicks of the engagement from that email. And that email would go from my email productivity suite. So whether I'm using Google or Microsoft or Apple or IMAP, it doesn't matter what email system you're using, I can send that email from wherever I'm engaging. I could do it from right within the actual contact record. I could do it from a segmented group. So Nimble can send individual emails or group emails. And then once that that message is sent, that message is automatically recorded inside your Google or Microsoft system or within Nimble. In fact, I could send emails from within my my Google or Microsoft system as well, and those mails will automatically be synced back to Nimble as well. So it doesn't matter where you work, Nimble will always update those things of contacts added and edited and calendar things, etc. And so anything that I do with the client would show up here as a pending or completed item. These are the different widgets that you have for setting your stay in touch reminders and setting privacy on contacts, etc. You could do custom fields within Nimble as well. And one of the things that I love, besides being able to log the things I do and schedule the things I do and communicate how I need to communicate, is the ability to manage repeatable processes. And we'll get to that in a second. I just want to show you the other tabs of Nimble. So basically, the core of Nimble is the contacts. Besides the contacts, you have all your activities that you need to do. You have an agenda view, you have a list view of all the key things that you need to do. You can segment that into just my calls for the day, etc., or your tasks. Nimble synchronizes your calendar within the Nimble system as well. And so the key areas I live in is the contacts area, the tasks area, as well as inside of my today page. So this is where I start and end my day. Nimble synchronizes your key signals from your calendar, from your email, as well as from social signals that are happening, maintains all your tasks and your calls and your deals, shows you when people are opening up your emails, has your stay in touch reminders, as well as the ability to manage your pipeline and stages. And so this is the deals area where you can go ahead and manage all your deals. So this is where you put your qualified leads, not necessarily like an active listing or something like that, as opposed to pre-qualified leads. And so I'm going to talk about something called workflows. But before I do, I'm going to show you how a lot of people work in the world. Does this look familiar? I know it does. This is how most people work because they can't quite get their CRMs to conform to the way they work, because most people work in lists and fields, columns of fields. But the problem is that as easy as this is to possibly work with, it's not tied to the contacts that you're engaging to. So when you open up emails from those people, you don't have the history of interactions and the ability to schedule a follow-up, etc. So these list things quickly become non-functional. But we all need to manage processes somehow, and then you might try some project tool like Trello or something else like that. But again, these things don't tie to the contacts that you're engaging with, and that's why we built workflows. And so the idea behind workflows is that you can define the repeatable people and company business processes that you need to do in order to succeed. And let's face it, we all have repeatable people and company processes that we're trying to manage, and a lot of people do it on paper. And so what Nimble does, it allows you to find a board with a series of stages that you could define with cards that are related to those stages, and the cards have fields on them. And so the fields might be related to your particular vertical industry. In this case, we built this real estate pipeline workflow. But that's not the only kind of workflow that we have, because in order to succeed in a business, you need to hire great people. You need to onboard those great people. You might need to do some fundraising or some biz dev or accounts receivable. So there's a lot of different types of workflows that you might need to do. And so Nimble enables you to pick our templates and then modify those templates so that they suit your needs. And the beauty of this is that no matter where I am, I can add people to workflows and manage those workflows anywhere that I am working. So if I wanted to add this person to a workflow, boom, they're in that workflow wherever I happen to be working with them. So this could be my email inbox. It could actually be a business article. How many times have you read a local business journal about something that was happening that was a potential lead for you? And just think how great it would be if you could take a name out of a article and build a record on that person in literally seconds, and then take that record and get their email. Because if you give Nimble first name, last name, company domain name, Nimble will give you all the contact information that you need in order to engage. So Nimble gives you everything that you need in order for you to build that record. So I just built a record with contact info in seconds, and now I can send them the templated outreach email to drive the conversation. And literally, I was able to do that with by clicking the mouse 4 times. Now, how powerful is that? And so Nimble Workflows is a really great way to not just manage the repeatable processes that your agents need to do, but let's face it, once an agent closes a deal or has a deal in the pipeline, there's a team of people that might work in your office that can be collaborating with them about those deals and about those workflows. And so I'm really excited about the new Nimble Workflows and their ability to enable agents and their teams to collaborate together to drive people through these processes. And then what you could do is you could then move people from a workflow into a deal. And I'm really, I think that's really great. And then we make it really easy to onboard into Nimble, because let's face it, this is a key part of getting people to be successful, is teaching them how to use it. And we have a lot of videos and onboarding and tutorials that make it super simple for people to adopt our platform. And so with that, that's my main demo that I had planned for Nimble, and let's talk about next steps. Whoops. Okay, there it is. So we've talked about Nimble, and we've talked about the power that it provides for agents and agent teams, brokerages, to collaborate together on contacts to be successful. And I don't think that Nimble's just for an agent as a lone wolf tool, although it could be used that way. I think you should consider using Nimble across your entire organization in order for your team to share these contacts and work together as a team. But whichever way that you do it, we'd love to start a conversation with your leadership team to learn more about your agency and your brokerage, and to discover ways that we could help you tie Nimble to Reliance in order to scale more effectively. So reach out to Nick. His email is right there. We're happy to have a conversation with you. We're happy to set up a pilot group with some of your motivated agents, as well as talk with you about implementing it across your entire team. And with that, I'd like to see if we have any questions or any feedback, Sean. We haven't heard much from you. Let's hear if you have any feedback.
I'm happy to just share a couple of quick points from my side. So first off, for those who don't know me, I'm Jon Ferrara, CEO of Reliance Network, 25-year plus veteran in this industry. And one of the things that I've learned through my tenure in real estate is that it's very difficult to find software where I'll say, where everyone agrees that one size fits all. Yeah, having flexibility, customization capabilities is just so important. And for my part to play in this industry, one of the things that's been so important to me is listening to our clients, working with those that are in the field, working with buyers and sellers every day, and understanding what's really important to them. And it was with that we had a number of very, I would say, power users in the CRM space that reached out to us a number of years ago and said, we're looking for something more. We're looking for something that's highly flexible, extensible, that is well integrated not only with the Reliance platform, but with all of the other products that we may be using, whether that's in the Google space or Microsoft space or anything else for that matter. And these are actually, a number of these agents were using products like Contactually would be a really good example. We had a lot of folks that were using Contactually at one point before its acquisition by Compass. And Contactually did a lot of things well, but I think the irony was that as we really started looking into things more deeply, we realized that a lot of the things that they had kind of focused on or outlined within their product were things that maybe, I'll use the word loosely, but borrowed from companies like Nimble, that truly are CRM providers at another level. And so one of the things that was just very exciting to me when had a chance to meet with Jon and really talk about the future of CRM and particularly the relationship building aspects of it was that this was just the right fit. And we've worked with a lot of CRM applications, continue to in a lot of different areas in this industry, but we have not built a closer relationship with anyone than we have with Nimble. And those deep integration points, just it makes it so much easier to be able to share contacts and leads between these platforms. And Jon Cilch, thank you so much for really taking us through the professional's perspective on how you're using this every day in your business, because I think that's absolutely invaluable. It's good for all of us to see that and to understand it. And I think you would also recognize better than anyone how important it is both to have a roadmap to the things you want to accomplish, which is nice, and that a lot of what we do within Nimble and within Reliance, we provide a roadmap for how to get started, but then to have that flexibility to customize it to the way that you run your business is so essential. I would like to point out and maybe just touch on very quickly here, one of the things that really attracted me to Nimble way back when and still does to this day, and Jon talked about this, but Nimble Prospector and really the power of enriching your leads. And maybe to put that into, let's say, real estate perspective very quickly, I think there's three key things that I would want to highlight. One is, we're receiving leads off of our websites every day, and when you receive a lead, oftentimes you're getting pretty good contact details, a name, a phone number, maybe email address, but there's not a whole lot to go on without actually jumping on Google and actually running a search and taking the time to do the work yourself. I think there's just huge benefit to being able to use a lead enrichment tool like Nimble Prospector to let its system go out in a matter of what would take me minutes, maybe longer, to go and find details on that lead, that anonymous lead that I've never met before. Now, really with just a couple of clicks, I'm able to go in and enrich that information, really build a profile, understand who this person is on the other end, and in many respects qualify them to a degree, and as Jon Ferrara had shared, to be a better salesperson, really understand who that person is on the other side, is it that they're interested in, so that it gives me a really good foundation when I do reach out to them as to what their great interests may be. That's in addition to, of course, seeing within the Reliance system the types of properties that they're looking at and everything else, which is also a guide. But that's a huge benefit right there. It's just really lead qualification, we'll say. The second important tool with Prospector to me is just being able to enrich an existing contact database. We have so many agents out there in this industry, and even myself included, with large contact databases where we really don't have complete contact details for a lot of people. And if there's somebody that's getting engaged on my website and I'm seeing interest, or just somebody that I really want to learn more about, what a great way, instead of having, again, to take the time myself to jump on Google and find all these details, to be able to just highlight their name, highlight their email, and then build a bigger, better profile, get all of their social connections, and to do that in a matter of seconds, as opposed to taking the time and diligence to do it myself. Time is money in this industry, and we don't all have time to just sit there and do Google searches on every name that we have in our contact database. So it's just hugely beneficial from that perspective. The third item that I would mention with Prospector that I think is very enticing is the ability to build your database. So, and Jon touched on this, but my ability to farm local businesses and different types of firms, find executives, find professionals, engineers, people that live in and around me and in my neighborhoods, to be able to find those folks, be able to pull them in, and then ultimately, as I kind of qualify that and add them into my CRM database, that's a great use case for things like, one, asking for an invitation to be able to provide them with our neighborhood presentation system, basically an automated CMA, so that from that point forward, they can really stay in tune as a keep in touch tool. And Jon, you mentioned this as such a critical thing when you're working with clients. The last thing you ever want to find out is they chose to down the line because you didn't keep in touch, which is what tools are supposed to help you to do, that they end up working with somebody else, which is kind of the bane of this industry. That's exactly what all these systems are designed to do, is to help you to automate that and build stronger relationships. And it's not just about helping somebody buy a home again, it's about everybody that they know that they could refer you to. If you're keeping in touch and you're helping them understand what's really going on in the marketplace around you. And so these are just important facets to this overall picture of online marketing, CRM relationship building, and that's why when I look at technology at this level, it's very, very exciting, because it's a huge time saver when it's employed the way that it should be, and it's easy to use. That's probably fundamentally one of the most important aspects of Nimble to me, because we work very hard to make sure that our products are easy to use. When we're working with a CRM system, it's got to be simple, really easy to work with. So that was I have a fourth point, maybe the most important, and that's my few words on the importance of Nimble CRM. So thank you guys for letting me join in on this.
I appreciate your kind words. Your words remind me of a quote from somebody named Mae West. Those that don't know Mae West, she was not only an actress and one of Hollywood's leading legends, but she was an entrepreneur. And one of her quotes that I love is she used to say, "Out of sight is out of mind, and out of mind is out of money, honey." And so how do you stay top of mind? You don't stay top of mind with talking about how great you are or your services are. You stay top of mind by becoming somebody's trusted advisor. And I can't tell you how many times I've learned that lesson in real estate from the real estate professionals in my neighborhood. So I live north of Montana in Santa Monica, and it's a fairly decent zip code. And there's agents here that own this area, and they own it because they've established themselves as the trusted advisor. And you don't do that with market automation CRMs. You do it with relationship managers. You do it by staying in touch. You do it by doing the basics. John Wooditz said it best. It's the basics that wins games. And that's why I love the fact that Jon Cilch talked about how he does the basics and why doing the basics is so important, and why so many people fail by not doing the basics. And I think that in today's world where it's digital, we have so many connections, doing the basics is hard. But you know what? It doesn't have to be if you're nimble at it. So Nick and Jon, do you have anything to share before we go? But before we do that, if there are any questions, be sure to type them in the question box. And Julie, if we have any questions that I'm missing, make sure that you let me know. And Nick and Jon, why don't you go ahead and close us out?
I just want to thank everybody for their time. I hope this was very helpful for everybody, and we really love the partnership with Nimble. And Jon, thanks again for jumping on, and appreciate your feedback and input as well. So thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. It was great to be involved with this. I wasn't paid to do this. I'm a Nimble fan, as it makes my life easier and just makes me so much more efficient. I'm the type of agent that would much rather work smarter than harder. I value my time very much, and I don't want to be doing real estate 24/7. I would rather help the people that want to be helped and help those that are referred to me, and it's worked out quite well.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time. And Jon, thanks again. That was really great. And Sean and Nick, thank you for Reliance choosing Nimble as your engagement tool for your real estate brokerages. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.